Hi guys, today in this video, I'll have a time lapse of me building the start of a Marble Run set that I recently got for Christmas, while talking about how my production skills developed throughout my team's media studies project. First, for our group selection, I chose Jose, Nasha, and Valeria to be my teammates. I chose them because they're very good workers and good friends. They also always get their work done on time and even do it right away to get it over with, just like me. I also brought comfort and great ideas to the team. However, we lost Nasha due to her switching out of the class, so we had to go on with having only 3 of us for the project. We also mainly made decisions from what sounded best for our film and what was attainable for our film. Before we set out on this project, I knew very little about filmmaking, but getting to know about all the different types of filmmaking strategies present in films really intrigued me. Camera movements like pans, dollies, and straight cuts, angles like high, low, wide, or long shots, and all of the different theorists, such as Steve Neal or Judith Butler, is what really interested me about the art of filmmaking. For deciding on the conventions of our film, we proposed many different ideas such as drama, fantasy, comedy, adventure, and science fiction. But we decided to go with fantasy, comedy, and adventure since fantasy and adventure tend to mold together very well. And for comedy, we wanted the comedy aspect to bring more life into this film and get all the laughs out of people who watch it. For the team, we decided our auteur and overall leader was going to be Jose because he was decided to be the one to carry out all the editing and uploading for our final film. For the advertising, Valeria was the main contributor, which she put out all the posters, all the trailers, and all the merchandise. I decided to mainly help with the filmmaking itself and be a casting member of The Magic Sweater, and I was also the casting director. And I also helped with some of the advertising elements, which I helped Valeria with. So I think my involvement was pretty varied and good in this project. When doing our storyboard, we had to change up the story drastically since some scenes didn't really connect with each other, where, for example, we were originally going to have the bully scene, which consisted of the laughing students and the bully confrontation outside the classroom, but ended up doing it inside the classroom instead. The camera angles, lighting, transitions, and mise-en-scène is what we didn't really change really at all, and it flowed very, very well with the film. The sound of the film is a rather interesting part of this film, where we decided to have an abundance of fairy-like twinkles connecting to the fantasy genre and the sound effects related to the fairy. So like other twinkles and other sound effects. And also, there's the transportation sound effect for the transportation to the alternate reality, which that's when Jose gets transported. Overall, making the storyboard wasn't really that difficult, and it was very, very easy to alter it and make it to our liking. The scheduling and casting was, although a difficult but straightforward process, where Jose was the main character, the bullied one, because of his altruism, me as the bully, as rather an ironic representation of my real self, and Valeria as the fairy, where fairies are often depicted as female. We also had the students who were just background characters for our film and who laughed at Jose. We set up the filmmaking session with the students for a day where pretty much everyone was available, which was a Tuesday. We then proceeded to create our logos and credits. We all used the program HailUI.video To create these logos and credits, we first typed in a prompt for it to create a logo or credit sequence, which after a few attempts and a few alterations, created what we were looking for. After creating our rough draft, we received some criticism, however, not much from our classmates and more from our teacher, which it was pretty good criticisms and suggestions. We responded by taking those criticisms and applying it to our film to make it way better than it was originally. We made further edits and revisions to further polish up the film, but after the criticisms, our film was pretty much complete at its fullest. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope to see you next time.